Hello, everyone. Hope you have a good Monday. What we are going to do today to discuss the row level security in MDS, because one of the friend on YouTube, he asked me to put a video to demonstrate how we can control the row level security for our MDS data. If you haven't watched the master data services in SQL Server, please visit my video on configuring master data services in SQL Server 2019, because that's where I've actually gave a full introduction or brief explanation about this service. This is a great service, especially from the data governance and data quality perspective to control the data from unknown changes, and safeguard our critical data, which requires to be consistent across the whole organization. Now, obviously, the question coming, if we want to give the access to that data and we want to, spoof or hide some part of it and just expose some part to some particular group of users, how are we going to do it? So in today's video, we're going to actually see how we can allow the permission to the data based on the membership level, which is obviously the row level of the data that has been stored into our MDS model. So with this brief introduction, let's jump into our demo environment, and because it's going to be a completely practical solution. So what I did, because my machine is not connected with Active Directory, I'm running my virtual machine in the Oracle inbox. But what I did, just to demonstrate, I have created two groups called finance and sales. And you can see these are more like reflection of the Active Directory group. The only difference is these are local to that server. But with the Active Directory, everything is centralized. We have this centralized Active Directory or directory, which is authenticating all the groups and the user and controlling all the policies, which is obviously required a lot of additional work if I want to set up that architecture. But trust me, the same pattern is going to actually work if you implement it through the Active Directory. So just consider in our system we have two groups. One is sale and the other one is finance. Now, sale doesn't need to see all the data until unless it is approved or it is approved by the finance, because they are the custodian of the data. And once they approve it, we just thought, okay, that's the category that sale can advertise or try to sell to the customer. And there's a very common scenario. For example, we are building a product, and that product requires some approval from the finance before it can. You can have a lot of cost challenges that need to be addressed first before we can hand over to sale for selling to our customer. Therefore, we have created two groups. One is finance and one is sale. And let me just show you what we have in finance. I have created a local user, and I can show you. You can just go into the user section, and you can create a local user on the server. The only difference between a local user and domain-based user, local user is only capable of doing anything within the server, within the local server environment. However, if you are creating a domain user, that user have ability to access other resources on the network if you provide the right permission to that user. Right, so that's a quick networking refresher if you are interested. And you can see I have created two users. One is Bob, and the other one is Tom. I put one user, I think I put Bob in sales and put Tom in finance. So let me show you first finance. Finance is in here. You can see Tom belongs to finance, and Tom needs to see the product information before we expose it to Bob in the sales department, because Tom needs to verify that, okay, yeah, the costing is right for that product, so they can hand over to sales department to start selling to our customer. So I think the scenario is pretty clear now. That let's jump in and see our product. So if I quickly come back just to refresh your memory from the design perspective, I have three tables. I have product category, I have product subcategory, and then I have product table. So what I'm and the hierarchy, you can even by hearing it, you can easily understand product category contain the information about the main categories, and under that category we have the subcategory. So if I actually go into the product category, you can see we have these sample categories: bikes, components, clothing, accessories. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete that because I think that that's the wrong category. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete that member. It is confirming. Yes, I'm confirmed that I need to delete it. There are codes which are linked to that. Anyway, I'm gonna actually I'll look into it later. What's the error? Let me quickly there's a the member with code, it is currently used by a product member. All right, so you can see there's some sort of relationship between these table. I will fix it later, but you can see we already have these product codes and sorry, product category and product category name. And then based on product category, obviously we have the subcategories, and you can see the volume is high. We can see that there is a one-to-many relationship because I can see the product subcategory. I didn't put the product category ID in here. I will fix it later. Just to give you, because that if you don't understand that link, don't worry, because we are going to use product category subcategory table with product. So let me show you. So that these are all our product subcategory, and that's my product table. So my product table has the product subcategory as well as the product category. The only difference in here that my product subcategory, I'm getting it at the moment. I'm getting it from the user. But theoretically, if I have the product category available or product subcategory available, I shouldn't get it the value from user. I should get it, from the previous two entities that we have already created, because that enforce the rules that user cannot type in anything. That user can only get the information. Now, first, let me go and first fix that, because I think it would be good if we can fix that first. So we are coming into the system administration entities. Let me come in here, go to attributes, and I think that's the attribute I want to edit. And let me just change it to free. I will come back what domain and free is. Okay, now let me show you the clean product table first. Now I can see all my products. It has the product subcategory and it has all the product category ID. What I'm going to do now, I'm just going to now link these product category product item with the product subcategories. Because that's the hierarchy which I'm building it. And hierarchies play a very critical role, because once we manage the data has been managed in some sort of hierarchies, right? So for example, the simplest form to understand the hierarchical data, we have countries. Countries has maybe states, or I would say provinces, depend upon the geographical location or the dynamics. And then these state or provinces has the cities, and then the cities has the suburbs. So you can see, based on these four levels, we can nicely and cleanly manage our data. And then once we need to do the analysis, we can do that. But on the other side, if we have to set up the security on our data. So for example, if the person is looking, for example, New South Wales data, he might not need to see the data which is coming from Queensland. Or maybe if a person is looking at the Victoria state data, he might not, or she might not need to see the data which is flowing from maybe Tasmania or NT or even Western Australia, right? So these are a sort of permission we can set up once we create the hierarchy. Secondly, in this scenario, I have my product subcategory. I might need to give some access to to sale department on some subcategory, but other subcategories I don't want them to see until unless they are ready and approved by the finance department. So let's implement that scenario. I'm just going back into my uh, MDS, and I'm just going to, whenever you need to set up the hierarchy, you need to define that level. So obviously, if I want to pay attention at this point, because that's the critical one in setting up the hierarchy, that's my product table which I want to, and that is always the lowest level, and we always start from the lowest level. It's not compulsory, you can even start from the top level, but it's better to start from the lowest level, and then we will go all the way to the top. So in product, I know I have the product subcategory, right? So in product subcategory, if I edit it at the moment, it's a free text, like user can enter any product ID, but I don't want to enter that ID because I know I can already read it from another entity, which I've already defined into my model. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create domain base, and I'm just going to domain entity is going to be, so you can see I have all these entities available. So I believe that I'm going to read it from product subcategory. That's it. I'm not going to put any filter. It's not available. So I'll just save it. It's gonna convert it into the domain base. You can see in here. Now that has been done. Now that relation logically has been established, but obviously we need to define it within our system. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna actually come back and we're gonna click on the derived hierarchy. What derived hierarchy does, it actually defines that hierarchy in the model, in the master data services model physically. So you can literally, draw that structure, and then you can use that hierarchy to define the security. So let's select the model. Yeah, because and remember, derived hierarchies are always on the model level. It's not ongoing. It's not going to be on the hierarchy level. Because some of the time we have the hierarchy defined in the table. An example is the address table, where we have country, state, city, suburb, or postcode defined into the same table. That has a different type of hierarchy which we can define in the MDS, but that's not the topic. What we are going to do, we have two entities, and we are defining the derived hierarchy based on these two entities. So let me select the model, and I'm going to create a derived hierarchy. I'm just going to call it product subcategories hierarchy, and let me save it. All right. So you can see I have three columns available. Now, whatever is going to be your last level, always drag it first. So I know product is always going to be at the last level because, if you look at product category is on the top, and then we have the product subcategory, and then the last level is product. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag the product into the current level. It's going to take time because it's not setting that structure. And now you can see, because we only have one logical relation developed, so that's why the only table which is linked with product, because it has the column that it has the domain value that is being used in this table. So that's why this table is still present. What I'm going to do, I'm going to now drag it in here. Now it is processing it. We're gonna wait till it is setting up the hierarchy. All right, so now you can see the hierarchy has been set it up. You can see product category 1, product subcategory 1 has all the corresponding products. Subcategory 2, it has all the, and we can define even on all the top level. I think the restriction, if I remember correctly, I do believe we can go up to 32 level, but I need to check from the online documentation. You can check by yourself that what was how many levels we can define in the hierarchy. So our hierarchy has been configured. We can come in here, and that's done. I think it's auto save, so we have already done it. So let's go and let me check. On this one. Leave it at the moment. I'll come back and I'll just check my model. And now you can see hierarchies. If I come in here, you can see the new derived hierarchy I have defined. It is now available. So that's the entity based screen, which show you each individual entity. Now, what I'm going to show you is the derived hierarchy that we have created. So you can see we have all the root that has been defined. We don't have anything. There is one, sorry, yeah, because we don't have all these level one. And I think I can see what we have in here. Okay, that's the full. Let me keep it simple. So let me show you. So product category one, you can see all the category one products, they are now listing. And I can see if I want to see product category two. So at the moment, because I'm the owner of the model, I'm creating it, I'm able to see everything. But now imagine, I don't want Bob to see, for example, I just want him to see product sub product category one. So what I'm gonna do, now we are going to set up the security at the member level. I'll just go to the user and group. And normally we set up the security at the group level. Avoid setting up on the user level because it will be very clunky and administration intensive. Because if you have, for example, 10-20 user, managing them each user individually is a nightmare and it's going to waste a lot of your time and energy. On the other side, if you set up a group and put this user in a group, all you need to set up the security at the group level and the user will inherit that security automatically. So you can see we have finance group. I'm just going to add sales group. So for example, I have sale and I'm just going to click on that to find out. It's gonna, once you click on that little icon, it's gonna check the group information and it will bring the group. So you can see it automatically detect that the group is present on the local server and it bring it across. However, if you have the domain connection configured on the server, your server has joined the network, you're gonna see all you need to type the Active Directory group and the group information will come automatically. That's all happen automatically, and Microsoft has implemented that functionality in all the servers, that once you join them towards the Active Directory, the information flow automatically. So let me click, yeah, that's the right group. And now what I'm going to do, let me just quickly show you who is in our sales group. You can see Bob is sitting in here. He's part of the sales group. Okay. So now in order to give access, let me come in here and let me just edit. So we have multiple options. What we are going to do, we are first going to click on function, what kind of functionality users can perform. There are a bunch of functionality. Theoretically, whenever we want someone to read the information from our master data services, minimum information, minimum rights we can give them is the explorer right, because explorer will help them to explore the information, and then we restrict them what area they can explore or what should be hidden from them. So let me just click on Explorer functionality. All right. So I'm not going to, I'm just going to give them the permission on the hierarchy level. So let me just, select that hierarchy, and you can see I'm just going to edit now. You can see I'm going to give all the user from the sale. If you right click on the, so these are the top level, like if you remember, are the product subcategory. So for example, I just want Bob to see the product category, product subcategory one. So I'm just going to give him access on the read access, and you can see even we can restrict that he's not going to edit anything on the product subcategory, sorry, on the hierarchy or on the record. We just want him to see and see one particular subcategory. I can even allocate more category as well. So for example, I can give him access to multiple categories, and then I can save it. All right. So you can see, wait until unless you see the result in here. Sometimes, it takes a little time. There's a delay and we think, oh, nothing is happening, and we click anywhere. Until unless you see that the information in the right pane, don't leave the screen and you need to wait. Sometimes you have to click twice on the save button. These are all, the interface plugin issues that sometimes it won't accept the input. You just need to click it again. So now we are good. We have set up the permission for Bob that he can see the hierarchical data. He shouldn't see product category 3 onward. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually pretend as Bob. You can see I've already pretend as Tom. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to log in as Bob. So let me go and open a session. And that's the beauty in Windows Server, that you can run any application under any user credential. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, because it's a local user, so dot mention the local user. And then I'm going to type the password of Bob. And we're just gonna wait till it opens this. So you can see now I'm behaving as a Bob in this session, and I'm just going to copy the MDS URL. I will paste it in here. Let it load the. So the very first thing you can check, I'm logged in as Bob. The username is always displayed on top right on your screen whenever you open the MDS under any user. And now okay, I think I know I have the Explorer. I need to set up the permission on. I want to avoid it, but anyway, okay. Let's come in here. We just need to edit this as well. Let me edit it here. So obviously we need to give access to the model as well, because right now you can see there is no access on the model. That's why the Bob is unable to see any information in the Explorer. So what we are going to do, we are going to give access to Bob, for example, on the product table, and it's going to be only read only. So let me see if I can live with that minimum permission. And like you can see, I'm just waiting. It is setting up. So now we have the product information set up. Let me come and let me refresh the cache. Now you can see the model has appeared. And now if I click in here in the model, I can see I can see the product. And one thing you're going to actually identify, Bob can see this product, but Bob cannot actually edit any information from the product. Secondly, Bob can only see product category, subcategory 1 and product subcategory 2. For Bob, he doesn't know that how many records we have available in our master data services. So that's how we can control the member level security for our users, right? And secondly, you can see it's because it's a read only, so the whole thing has been grayed out. But if I go to my owner or more powerful user, I can see. Let me go back. So for my product, I can edit the information. So that's the twofold security. First, we didn't give any information. Sorry, we didn't get any permission to Bob to change anything. Secondly, he's only looking to the tunnel which we have set it up for him to view these record. He is not aware about any other thing except that what is available in that tunnel. So that's how we set up the member level security in the MDS. A very powerful concept, especially from the data governance perspective, that you can use to control the access of data in your organization. So hopefully that video will be beneficial. Please watch, comment. If anything is unclear, more than happy to answer. Like the video or subscribe the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.